Life's challenges are not meant to break you, they're meant to shape you. Have you ever felt like life was testing you relentlessly, as if the world had conspired to push you to your breaking point? You're not alone. We all face moments of loss, failure, and quiet despair. But true strength isn't about avoiding hardship, it's about how you respond to it. Stoic philosophy reminds us that while pain is inevitable, suffering is a choice. Within every setback lies an opportunity, a seed of wisdom, resilience, and clarity that, when nurtured, can transform you. If you find value in what we're discussing here, a simple free way to support us is to hit that subscribe button and don't skip any part of the video. Each piece of information could be the key to unlocking deeper insights into human nature and your personal peace of mind. Today, we'll explore 6 powerful habits rooted in the wisdom of Stoicism that will fortify your spirit against life's chaos. These aren't quick fixes or shallow affirmations, they are ways of being, practices that, when mastered, will quietly reshape the way you meet adversity. If you've been feeling overwhelmed or simply want to grow stronger in the face of life's storms, you're exactly where you need to be. Take a deep breath. Stay with us. There's something in today's message that just might change how you face tomorrow. And if this resonates with you, consider subscribing. It's a small action, but it allows us to keep sharing wisdom that truly matters. Habit 1. Embrace change. Change is a constant, like the shifting tides, the turning of the seasons, or the passing of time itself. Yet, for many of us, change remains one of the greatest sources of stress. Why? Because we don't see change as part of life. We see it as an interruption to the life we expected. But the Stoics viewed it differently. To them, change was not something to fear, but a teacher, a sculptor that shapes our character through every twist and turn. When life throws the unexpected at us, our instinct is often to resist, to cling to comfort, mourn what was, or fear what's coming. But resistance only creates suffering. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. What if, instead of resisting, you leaned into change? What if you welcomed it? How much lighter would you feel? How much more peace could you hold? This is the essence of amor fati, the love of fate. It doesn't mean passive acceptance. It means embracing whatever life brings and choosing to work with it rather than against it. To say, I love what happens, doesn't mean you approve of every hardship, but rather you recognize its role in your growth. Whether it's a career shift, a breakup, a loss, or an opportunity cloaked in uncertainty, the Stoic response is the same. This too belongs. I can use this. That mindset transforms obstacles into stepping stones. It shifts your energy from control to clarity, from fear to flexibility. Because while we can't dictate the winds, we can adjust our sails. The Stoics teach us to focus only on what's within our control, our actions, our judgments, our responses. The rest? Noise. So when change arrives, don't brace against it. Breathe. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I adapt and grow? These questions turn chaos into clarity. Embracing change also means shedding old versions of yourself, letting go of identities, dreams, and rigid plans that no longer serve you. It means becoming, in essence, a living philosophy, always evolving, always refining. It's the difference between fighting the waves and learning to surf. Marcus Aurelius never sought the crown, yet he ruled Rome through plague, war, and betrayal. He didn't break, he adapted. He wrote in his journal by candlelight and reminded himself daily that impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. A simple habit to strengthen this mindset. One practical way to embrace change is through daily reflection. Take a few minutes each day or week to examine what changes are you facing, what emotions arise, what strengths are being forged in the fire of this transition. Even a 5-minute journaling practice can shift your perspective, grounding you in clarity and helping you see change as a partner in your growth, not an enemy of your peace. So the next time life shifts unexpectedly, don't ask, why is this happening to me? Instead, ask, how can I grow through this? Because when you master the habit of embracing change, not just enduring it, you begin to move through life with grace, power, and a quiet kind of courage that nothing can shake. Habit 2. Master your emotions. Have you ever said something in the heat of the moment only to regret it seconds later, or felt your heart race with anxiety, excitement, or anger, as if your emotions had taken the wheel and you were just along for the ride? You're not alone. We've all felt that internal storm. But what separates A or R? To master your emotions is not to become numb. It is to become free. Free from being controlled by every fleeting feeling. Free to act with wisdom rather than impulse. Free to choose responses that align with your highest self. So the next time an emotional storm approaches, pause, observe, reflect, and then choose. With practice, this process becomes a habit, and that habit becomes an unshakable foundation, one that no storm can break. Habit 3. Set boundaries. Protect your peace. Have you ever felt pulled in 100 directions, saying yes when you wanted to say no, overcommitting out of guilt, watching your energy drain with every silent compromise? It's a common struggle, but in the eyes of the Stoics, constantly overextending yourself isn't noble. It's a quiet surrender of your inner peace. Boundaries are not barriers, they are foundations. Many people see boundaries as walls that separate them from others, but in truth, boundaries don't reject others, they protect you. They are the framework that ensures you have the time, energy, and clarity to live a meaningful life. The Stoics believed in living according to nature, and that includes honouring our limits. Just as rivers stay within their banks, trees grow within their seasons, the sun rises and sets within its cycle, we too must recognise where our responsibilities end and where our tranquility begins. Know your values, then guard them. The first step in setting strong boundaries is clarity, knowing what truly matters to you. Ask yourself, what do I value most? Where does my peace come from? What drains my energy unnecessarily? Once you define these, your boundaries become clear. For example, if mornings are your sacred time for reflection, protect them. Don't allow distractions to creep in. If evenings are for family, don't let work emails invade that space. If your mind needs rest, don't feel obligated to engage in endless social commitments. These aren't luxuries, they are non-negotiables. A Stoic does not allow external pressures to dictate their inner world. As Epictetus taught, no person is free who is not master of himself. Boundaries in action. Learning to say no. Setting boundaries doesn't mean pushing people away. It means communicating your limits with clarity and confidence, instead of saying, I guess I can make it work, while resenting it later. Try. I appreciate the offer, but I can't commit to that right now. Instead of feeling guilty for prioritizing your peace, remind yourself, every yes I give to something unimportant is a no to what truly matters. This shift in mindset is powerful. It transforms boundaries from something you feel guilty about into something you stand firmly behind. The strength to stand firm. At first, setting boundaries might feel uncomfortable. Some people won't like it, but as Seneca wisely said, a ship should not ride on a single anchor, nor life on a single hope. If you rely on constant approval from others, you'll drift aimlessly. True strength comes from anchoring yourself in your values, not in external validation. So ask yourself, where do I need stronger boundaries in my life? Where have I been saying yes when I really meant no? How can I protect my peace without guilt? Because when you set boundaries, you don't just reclaim your time, you reclaim your life. Next, the remaining 3 habits that will make you unshakable. We're just getting started. In the next section, we'll explore the final 3 Stoic habits that will help you build a life of strength, clarity, and unshakable peace. But before you move on, reflect on this. Where in your life do you need stronger boundaries, and what's stopping you from setting them? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this message resonates, share it, like it, and subscribe, because wisdom only grows when it's shared. Now, take a deep breath and keep going. You're stronger than you think. The power of boundaries. Protecting your inner circle. The Stoic philosopher Hierocles described life as a series of concentric circles. At the center is the self, then expanding outward to family, friends, community, and all of humanity. But without protecting that innermost circle, our own well-being, we lose the ability to serve anyone meaningfully. Of course, setting boundaries isn't always easy. You might worry about disappointing others or being misunderstood. But Stoicism isn't about pleasing people, it's about living with virtue, courage, and reason. And sometimes that means being willing to be misunderstood for the sake of your truth. True strength lies in the ability to say, calmly and clearly, "This is what I can give. This is where I must pause." You don't need to justify your limits or explain them away. A simple, "I'm not available at that time," or "I need to focus on my existing commitments," is enough. More often than not, clarity earns more respect than any long-winded explanation. How to cultivate the habit of strong bounder.